I don't see sister though. After our pizza. Oh, pizza joint.
So, Stephen, I'm good. He
Oh,
done touched
Yo,
something
welcome
again.
to
It's
the
gone
show, to
out
the
again.
Vague Show. We here today. I got two guests in the building. I got LaShawn Evans and I got Miss Betty Wright. So listen, we're gonna get we're gonna have them coming in. We're talking about family, talking about structure, and just bringing people together and making things work. Things that took place in the past or things that are taking place right now with the youth, and things that we are trying to accomplish to create a situation to be able to make everybody happy. So I'm gonna bring my guest in. We had a lot of problems trying to get them remotely in, but we got it. So now we in. I got Sandra and I got Miss Betty. I got Sandra, which is Miss Betty, right? And I got LaShawn. How y'all
which is the
doing?
boss.
Hello, hello. I'm great. I'm great. How you doing?
I'm good. Well, go ahead and introduce yourself, Betty, right?
Okay. Hi. I'm Betty Wright on social media. My name is Chandra. I have a business, so a clothing business, a nonprofit, and a homeless outreach program over here at 1922 North Decatur, Seconds and More.
Okay,
Just
LaShawn, go ahead and
providing services to the
introduce.
community.
Okay.
Mhm. Hi, I'm LaShawn, formerly known as the Boss Lady of Vegas. I'm the CEO of Moving and Grooving Entertainment. I have a music school, and we do a lot of community service and movies, and just I don't know, we do a lot of different stuff.
Okay. So cool, cool. So today's topic is we talking about family structure, struggles, and pulling together,
Right.
right?
Yes. Right.
So we really want to
Okay.
we
What is the
want to
what is your main topic, main concern in
family
family
struggles
structure?
and family struggles and strength.
Okay.
Well,
So we're gonna break the cycle, finding peace.
right. I think it needs to go back to the old school because a lot of the younger people they think that they're equal to their elders, and that's really what I wanted to talk about because I interviewed a couple of them, and they really think that they're equal. That have no respect for their parents, their grandparents, or no elderly people, and they have it justified.
Well, my opinion, it's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. Since COVID, you're dealing with a lot of depression, lot of mental illness that's unresolved. It's not talked about, so
Yeah,
it's easy to disguise itself and look like something else. You know,
definitely mental illness.
yeah, and that's what a lot is going on. With the kids now, not just the kids, adults. Because it's untreated. It's untreated mental illness, so you don't know what to do with it. The behaviors, it stems in the behavior. You understand? And
And
me
identity,
myself. Go ahead, honey.
I was saying identity. They don't know who they are. So you have the men being the women, and the women being the men.
Well, like I said, it's mental illness. It's nothing. That's just surface. That's just surface. You're talking to somebody personally. 17 years of therapy. You know, uh, Tapping into the mental illness, and that's it's not dealt with. It's not dealt with in the schools. It's not dealt with in homes because nobody wants to think that they're that crazy or something is wrong with them. So you got all the different behaviors. The identity crisis. It's all mental. It's all mental.
Yeah,
So if nobody's getting any help, what do you do with it? It's just all over the place.
Right. I agree with the anxiety. My daughter have bipolar and schizophrenia. My son have schizophrenia. Um, I do counsel a lot of different people with mental illness, especially men, and that's why I said the identity is because they want to do everything that the woman does, and I mean everything that the woman does, and they're competing with each other. So then you have the woman disrespecting, like she's disrespecting the man, she's disrespecting the parents, she's just disrespecting, like she's ruling over because there's no head. They like, there's no structure. They don't even
Okay,
know
ask
how,
you,
how it.
let
You know
me
what
ask,
I mean?
let me ask you a question though, because I hear you saying you counsel a lot of people. What are you counseling in them? What are you giving to them? You know, I mean, where does yours come from that you can give, pour into them? Have you had any counseling or any therapy?
Yes, I've been going to therapy since I was 16. So,
Okay.
so I've been going to therapy since I was 16. I had a rehab um, facility back in California with about 150 people that got clean. I didn't even know that I was a counselor, but I counsel from teenagers to millionaires to regular people. And that's when I really found out about the men. I didn't ever think that men was abused. I didn't think that men could say that they were scared or they had fear. They always had to be masculine, so they suppressed a lot of that energy because they was told that they couldn't cry unless they were gay, stuff like that or whatever. But what I found out in my research was that nobody was paying attention to them. They just figured that they're just supposed to handle the problem. Like it's more mental health going on with the men, so they're not even able to father or to lead the woman because they have identity crisis. They don't know who they are, their position. Like back in the days, we had our strong men that kind of taught the guys, how to mow the lawn, how you're supposed to take the trash out, how it's like the structure: God, the man, then the woman, then the children. So a lot of people don't have that, and I even had millionaires or even regular people asking me, well, what is love? Like, can you tell me what love is? Because I haven't never experienced love before. Everything that I thought was love was pain, you know? So I had to break that down to separate the degrees of love. And, but I was really surprised that the men couldn't lead the son because he was lost. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'm listening to you, but I truly believe you got to have hands-on experience when you're dealing with the mental illness, because a lot of it comes from brokenness. A lot of people are broken, and nobody talk. I mean, you tell me you're counseling them, but you can't give them what you haven't experienced.
So,
Like I said, I'm 27 years clean and sober. I'm 17 years in therapy. That's my arena. That because I've been broken. You understand what I'm saying? I can relate to somebody that's broken or that's bipolar or that's schizophrenic. You can give them book knowledge all you want to,
well,
but
I
if
don't
you
do
can't, if you
it.
no, let me just finish. If you can't meet them where they at and talk to them from a place of brokenness, you're not going to reach them.
Okay.
That's just how it is.
Okay. So let
You
me.
know.
So I do my counseling for my mental health patients. I do music therapy. So we start off with the instrument. So I have 7 drums. I got, I don't know, 5 guitars. I got things where they just, whether it's a shaker, it's a tambourine or whatever. So we start off there in the instrument room. From there, then we go to the counseling. And when I say counseling, I've been through a lot of stuff. I've been on my own since I was 14 years old. And by the time I was 17, I had 2 kids and I never went back home. And I experienced a whole lot, from drugs, alcohol. My mom was on crack really heavy. My dad was an alcoholic. My family was like one of the biggest drug dealers. And so I had a lot of mental illness. I've seen people get shot. When I was 5 years old, my uncle got shot in the head right in front of me, from my step grandfather. I don't really kind of know a lot of people that went through the stuff that I've been through in my life. I done died 7 times recently, December 2nd. But I couldn't read. That's why it's not book for me, because I couldn't read. Growing up, I was abused for reading. We wasn't really allowed to learn. And now I'm a master teacher because I've studied all my life. And so I have a simple way to teach people um, whatever it is they want to know. I know how to do a lot of different stuff. So I did not know, like I'm saying, I didn't go to school for therapy or counseling, but everybody seems to tell me their problems. Since I can remember, I change a life every day since I can remember. And I would always say, don't you guys have doctors or with the rich people? I say, don't y'all have money to go to therapy? But they love to talk to me. And so what I would do is I'll take everything that they say. I'm a great listener, process it, and then I figure out the best way to handle that situation. Now it got easier now because we have all the new technology. You can take something and you can say, well, what is the best? You can drop it in AI and be like, what is the best way for us to handle this or whatever, and then add it or mix it or subtract from it. But for me, what I did was I took them back to when they got broken, like the trauma. So I would start from the trauma, and then I would let them know that the trauma that they went through was for their purpose. And for their purpose, it's like, what did you learn going through that? What did it mean? What kind of skill did you get? Can you help somebody else with it? How can you apply that to your life right now or for the future? And so once you take them to the trauma, and help them understand that that had to happen, like the bad had to happen for the good to happen, then they get released and they can move on. You know what I mean? It's like they're not mad at anybody anymore. They don't hate their mom or they don't hate the husband or, you know. And so it was always a reason. When you go through things in your life, it's trials and tribulations. So everything's a lesson. It's a life lesson. You gotta learn. You gotta learn. If you don't learn, you're gonna be stuck in that cycle that they call the matrix. You know what I mean? But once you learn, because I'm a light worker. That's what I was telling you before. I'm a light worker and I'm a healer. I didn't know that I could put hands on people and heal them. I didn't know that for a long time. But basically, what I learned from me, everything I learned from me, that's how I was able to counsel. Because when I did my drug phase, I did the drugs to find out what my mom was going through, to understand my childhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, how could she do this and how could she do that? And my mom told me when I was 17 that she was designed to be my mother exactly the way she was. And it took me a minute to understand that. So she had to be that mother that didn't love me for me to be able to love anybody, no matter who they are. I had to be that mother to say, you can't learn. You think you're better than me because you know how to write your name. You think you can read, that stuff. In order to make learning be the most important thing to me in my life. So as I was finding myself, I was showing people how I did it. You know what I mean? And what helped me, and it actually worked. It's like, it's really simple. I feel like the world confuses everything, but really, it's really simple. And
It's that
I,
simple.
yeah,
I'm listening to you, and the mental illness is way deeper than what you're saying, honey. It's deeper. It's You're talking about it on a spiritual level, and it's all spiritual. But the mental illness is much deeper than that. How do you deal with, and your way of dealing with your trauma is music. And I understand that. But how do you go about dealing with an 8-year old who's committing suicide? You can't explain to them that you were designed to go through this and all that. He's 8 years old. He's not going to understand all of that. So it's of a much deeper
yeah.
nature than that.
Everybody, everybody is different. I saved 3 babies this week, and I was in counseling with the parents, and I kind of knew something was off with this lady. My son had brought her to me, and this lady almost killed her baby, smothered the baby, drowned the baby, and you know, I told her, I've been counseling with you, which I felt like you haven't been truthful with me. but you need some real help. You need to go to a doctor. You need to go like the other little girl last week. She tried to kill herself. My daughter just last week came down with a gun to her head. You know, to where I don't even know where she is right now. I don't know if she's dead or alive. Where my grandbaby is at. The man that took off with her. You know, so I've
Stop you
always
right there. Let me stop you right there. I hear you talking about, okay, we're talking about the family structure now. Forget all the other people you talking about you helping. What are you doing for that daughter who you just said put a gun in her head? Where is the help for that mental illness?
yeah.
Where is the help for that? Is she, are you seeking therapy for her, or do you
Well,
think you can just talk to her about it and tell her she
no,
can't? I mean, where's the help with that?
no, she had to get locked up. She was locked up for 8 days,
Okay.
and she got out the crazy house, and she made up this whole thing that we're going through right now. It's all made up. We all just figured out because my daughter, she's really gifted, and she's a writer. Like I told, she's a writer. She got 10,000 books. She got 5,000 art pieces, and we all figured out that we were in her movie. Right now, to this day, she's like slandering me. She's telling people that I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm doing. And I sent her a message today, and I said it's funny how I could save people around the world, but I can't even save my own child, save my children. My son in prison right now. I can't tell you, but I tried, and I always talk to God about that. I said, how come these people and I cannot save my.
And that's because, and I'm going to tell you what, because I want to talk to you on a real deeper level, because you have I'm listening to you, sweetie. You have the need to care for people. You have that need. That's a need. That's a mental illness. I'm going to go deep with it because that's the only way I know to do it. It's
Yeah,
a defective. Let me finish because I listen to you. Let me finish. I've listened to you talk about all these people you believe you saved. That's because you got that need in you. You need to feel like you can help people. But the whole time you missing out on your own that's in your household. They're suffering with a mental illness because it runs deep in your blood. And you're not able to save them because that ain't your job to save them. They need outside help. And they're going to go. The sad part about it is when we don't get our children no help, they carry it over into their adult lives. And
no, my
every relationship, everything they do is off because you're too busy trying to save the world rather than looking at the ones who are right before you.
I
Those are
just
your
I
children.
disagree. My daughter's been with me. What she's going through right now is because she's dating a guy that I didn't approve of about nine
It's
months
deeper
ago.
than that. It's deeper than that. That's surface. It's
Okay,
It's
deeper
well
than
let me
that.
let me let me jump in real fast.
that been beating her, that
Yeah.
been doing,
Let me
and I've
jump
been
in real
trying to get
fast.
her like
Okay,
Go ahead,
that's been
Michael.
so I have a
abusing her.
son, and he told me just
Yeah.
recently. I coach football, I coach basketball, and I've always had 30, 40 kids that I was coaching and that I was helping. And
Right.
just recently he said, Dad, I used to feel so bad when you was there for the mother kids, but you just wasn't there for me. You was always sending me
Mm,
off with grandpa, and then you would go and help
mm.
the other kids, and that bothered him. And I mean, we cool today, and everything is all good, but I understand
Mhm.
a kid could really lose itself by not getting what they want from their parents, not
What they
getting
need. What they
the
need.
and that's
Now,
love,
do you
that's
know
structure.
how
And then another
I did?
thing too is there is psychologically people play games just to be able to get what they want. And the second thing that I want to say is there's so much mental illness going on.
Mm.
There's people that are mental ill that are having kids today, and they don't know
Mhm.
that they ill. But those kids
Right.
that they're
Right.
having, they're developing
You know,
from 2, 3, 4, 5 underneath somebody that's not stable,
you know what?
somebody that doesn't have the proper structure to show them. If your parent was teaching you and not letting you learn, imagine
Remember, I
what you
was raised
learn
by
that
my
you
grandmother.
have to
I
deliver.
was raised by
So it's almost like it was really good for me to travel a lot, to get around and meet a lot of different people because when you got 5 or 6 people in your household, It's hard for mom and daddy to
no,
cater to
no, no.
each one of them in the same manner. So you
Listen,
have to kind of
listen
take a
though,
look
Mike.
at the structure of
I
building
know.
building a cycle where the understanding is times being spent,
Hmm.
energy you
Oh,
putting in,
what she
being able
told
to
you.
walk that line, that fine line that you're gonna lay out and walk. You got to be able to walk that line. You can't just spit it
Know
to
what
them and talk it to them and do something different, because if they see you doing something different, then your word is not valid. Your word don't mean
Right.
shit. That means
that
everything that you do, they don't believe in you, they don't trust you, because they see you doing something different. So when you, like with me and my kids, I heard a God say one day, um, I got to give my man Wet. Wet is a guy from North Las Vegas. He's been around, and a lot of people that probably watch this show and know who Wet is. Wet said, I tell my kids, do what I tell you to do, and not as I do, but do what I
hmm,
tell you to do. And he taught them that from a young age, and that was like something that
Right.
it instilled in them. And they grew up to be no gangbangers. They played basketball
hmm,
just like they dad. None of them went to the
hmm.
pros and nothing like that, but they live a regular life. They stayed away from the drama. And
It can,
there's a lot of women.
I,
Because they were poured into. They were
There was
poured
yeah,
into,
there was poured
Michael.
into. But
They were
there's a lot
poured
of
into.
women.
Let me tell you.
so
Let me
let me
finish
say
this.
something.
There's a lot of women in today's time that are mental ill, and they
And
cause
don't know
havoc,
it.
and they don't know it. They cause problems, and they cause havoc between families, whether it's the
Yeah.
son, daughter, husband, mother, or grandmother. When you listen and you say somebody 16 years old jumped on his grandmother, or somebody uh, 13,
Hmm.
14 years old cussing out their mom, that's in the household. You know,
It
it's almost
starts at
like
home.
it's almost like my daddy put the punk down on us when we was little. He punked everybody in the house because he had to get that attention because of so many people. And still today, right now, his sisters and other people that come around, my friends, they respect him and they're afraid of him because they know he mean business. And sometimes you just have to be extremely. It's different ways to deal with people, and you have to be
Right.
extremely hard um,
No,
Well, you know what it is,
and
Michael? A
convincing.
lot since I've been here, what I
honest-
see is a lot of these mothers are their kids' friends. And then
Yes,
when they disrespect you, you want to know why they disrespecting you. You're sitting there
hmm,
getting high with them, you're smoking in front of them, you're just doing all the things against the norm. And then when these kids go left, then you don't want to look at the part you played in that. Because it starts in the home.
this is
You
where I
know,
can.
if my daughter is acting out and she's wanting to commit suicide, I need to want I want to know. I got to be responsible for where that come from, because that come from someplace. It
Right. So
comes
let me.
from someplace, and it ain't something you can say, well, well, she knows this is the path she's chose for and everything. No, I got to take a look at me. What is it I didn't do,
So,
or I
so
didn't do
I
to
want you
pour
guys.
into my children, that all my children is all messed up,
So, so
and
basically,
you don't get them no help. That's the problem with our race. you
let me.
know when
I
we
want.
was young,
All,
everything was hush hush, don't tell nobody wants to think something wrong with Chandra and all of that, so it was hidden.
can I say something though? Really, honestly, this is a real situation for me. So my daughter's father went to prison when she was 3 years old, right? And I was in love with her father, to where I sacrificed a lot of stuff. So then, my daughter, when she just went to the crazy house the day before, the earlier that day, when she said to me, she said, "I'll be damned if I overly love my daughter like you overly loved me, and I disrespect you like the way I felt that she would disrespect me." So listen to this. 9 years ago, the guy she brought home, I told her what type of man that was. I woke up, he was choking her neck. I've been trying to get my daughter away from this man about 9 years. He's been beating her. She's been had her ribs broke.
What kind
Plus,
of daddy did she
I
have, though? What kind of daddy did she
have,
have? You just said he was in prison, right?
I have a daddy.
Right? Huh?
I have a, She
I'm
her
asking you about her father. I'm asking you about her father.
answer it.
Because
Her
most girls,
bitch.
honestly, most girls take
And
the kind
was
of daddies that they had.
listen what I'm saying to you. Her real
But I'm
father.
asking you a question. I asked you a question. What
Mas-
was her father in her
Her
life? What kind of
real,
father did she have?
her real father went to prison when she was
Okay,
so
that's what
she
I'm saying to
raised
you.
was raised by a white man, a rich white man. My daughter's very privileged. She's very spoiled.
It's
Only
bigger than
only
that, baby. Come on, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. You got to see it's bigger than that. It's not about money. And I
so
come from a great family, but I went left. It's
was very
bigger than I'm trying to get you to see how deep this is without the surface.
she's
You know,
very so the
she
only
picking the same kind of men as like her daddy. That's what
no
girls do.
no listen. My daughter asked me permission before she even had sex. And I said, why would you ask me that? She said, because I don't want to lose the respect of my mother. Understand, me and her was best friends. So what made her go
She's gone,
LaShawn, I can't
Michael.
hear you. I don't know what happened.
mom always a grown woman? She said the boy told her she wasn't a grown woman because she asked her mom opinion all the time. He told her that she didn't have titties, so she went and got boobs. She told her she couldn't sing. My daughter's one of the best singers out.
Deshaun, you're not seeing the big
So
picture, baby.
so she
You're
so
not
and I
seeing
have
the big
three kids.
picture.
I have two
You're not
girls.
seeing the
Listen, I have
big
two
picture,
girls.
honey.
I have two girls and one boy. Okay,
But you're
my
not seeing the
oldest
big
daughter
picture. I
had
hear
her,
what you're saying, but you're not seeing the
but
big
I'm not.
picture.
I got to know her life. So my problem that
Michael,
I'm
do you
having with her
understand?
is that her
Michael, let
fighting
me
is
ask you this question.
and that's why I
Michael.
don't like
I'm
that.
listening.
Don't
Okay,
say
go
no.
ahead.
Okay, Michael, let me ask you this question and see if you understand what I'm saying. Because I don't like to go, I get real deep
Yeah,
when we talk
I know.
about this mental illness.
I do too.
Do you understand the part I just said that
I'm
girls pick men like they daddies?
Absolutely. I do understand that. But I
yes.
also want to say this. Once you allow the streets to get a hold of your kids,
Right.
it's a long road. It's a
She was
long
raised
road that they have to
by
go
a
around before they're able to
white
come
man.
back. Because family is so important
Yeah.
that when you die, your family gonna be there. I went to a funeral today. Family, sister, brother, auntie, nieces, cousins. Your
Mm.
so when you have problems with anybody in your family, by the time they pass away, only thing that's gonna be there left for them is family. When you're born into this world, who's in front of you? Your family. They're gonna love you to death. It's gonna be all about family. But in between that, when you allow when you allow the streets to get a hold, like the streets got a hold of me, I went the long way around before I came back.
Me too.
So we've all had these trials and tribulations. So if your kid is in her 20s or 30s and she's going through something, you got to wait till she come out of it, because if you've been trying for 9 years, then evidently there's something that you're not capable of doing, because if you keep trying, it's like a wall being put up and it's being blocked. The main thing
You
is
ain't reaching her because you don't understand what she going through. You'll
right,
never understand
and
what she going through.
the main thing is to build a sometimes you got to get them out of that situation. You got to send them out of town. I know going to jail and going to the rehab and things like that, that's something different. But sometimes you have to go visit someone like a family member out of state. You have to learn and to be able to deal with other people. You got to learn to deal with other energies, somebody that can help lift you up. You got to be around somebody that's going to do something that makes sense, and they can help you
Well,
learn
what
and
we as a whole, as Michael, what us as black women as a whole, we don't want to listen to other women. You understand what I'm saying? I get it all the time. My field is in this mental illness. You can't talk to me about mental illness. I can see it. I can speak because I'm it. You understand what I'm saying? Now, we can go around and we can sugarcoat and we can think this is that. You got to go to the deep root cause of why that child is acting out like that. There's a reason. Shit don't just happen to us. It's a reason. It comes from somewhere. It's all about behavior. And it starts in the home. You know, mine's always started there. You know, I just don't know one, but because I know mine's was nature, I went and got help.
Are you still talking? Because I can't hear you. Hello?
Yeah, but I was talking and you couldn't hear me.
No, I could. I
Yeah,
heard.
can you
So
hear me?
so LaShawn is off now. I think we probably lost her signal because she had started going black, so we kind of lost her signal.
Mm-hmm.
But that mental illness is very serious, and for Boss Lady Diamond, Miss Boss Lady, what Sandra was trying to tell you is it's deeper than that, and you have to really take the time to find out what's really bothering your daughter. You have to find out why is she really acting out. You could say she's bipolar, you could say that she's schizophrenic and all of that stuff, but at the same time, all of that stuff piece of still wanting a piece of some action that they're missing. So you have to give them their strength and that understanding. I got guys that I grew up with that are in prison right now until they're 81 years old. And these are dudes that I love to death. I mean, there's a couple of them. But they did things that they acted out. And the reason they was doing it is because they was missing something. And when you missing that love
It,
or
it,
that
it, it,
attention,
it's
it'll drive you
missing the
anywhere.
love, the communication. It's the communication. It's you know, I was home. I was the only girl, grew up with 5 brothers, loving home. But I had a mother who gave us everything. But my mother had never said I loved you, you know, or wasn't very affectionate. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And that takes a toll on, you know, it plays a part in my relationships even to this day. You know, I experienced some things that I've never even talked about, which is probably her daughter too. If it's in the home and she's seen some things and you was her friend, and instead of being her mother and giving her exactly what she needs, then it's deep. It's deep. And if she's adult, she's 20 years old now. If you don't grab a hold of her, some real help, her life isn't going to get no better. And I believe
Yeah.
it only got better for me because I went to therapy for 17 years. I
Well,
needed to know what was wrong with me after I stopped using drugs. Why is my behavior still like this? And if most of the people today are narcissistic, all of them.
that's true.
They don't think about nothing and nobody else. It's really bad right now, Michael. It's really, really bad. And you know, we went all the way back to kids as young as 8 years old committing suicide. Why?
Right.
What does an 8-year-old know about committing suicide? What's going on in the home that this child wants to commit suicide and don't want to live at 8 years old? A 13-year-old blowing his brain out. Why? What's going on? What's going on in school? Is he being bullied? Is he seeing shit at home that he ain't got no business seeing? Is his mom in a relationship and he just don't want to be at 13? I don't think people really know how deep this really is. They just don't know how deep this stuff goes right now. And it's real bad. It is real bad. And if ain't nobody helping nobody and everybody thinking that it's this that can fix them and this, you're in for a rude awakening because it's just bigger than that.
It's
And it's
definitely bigger
something
than
I
that.
don't like to get really, yeah, something I don't really
LaShawn, you
like to
back?
get into too much with.
LaShawn, are you back? Okay, yeah, LaShawn, she's back, but I can't hear her. I can see her.
Yeah, but you know, you just this is something that you know I tap into. I got a son who has a couple wellness centers and he taps into the mental illness with black women and men because you know it's serious. It's going on right now, especially in our children. You understand? And our children. I pour into mine because I didn't get it like that. I pour into my daughter is 33. I pour into my boys and we talk about that mental illness. We talk about where it stems from. And where it stems from, Michael, is me. It's me. Because I wasn't there. You understand? I was doing
Right.
my thing. I
Absolutely.
wasn't there. And I play a part in it. So I got to be part of the healing process.
And sometimes it's kind of hard to reach a kid once you let them out there, it's kind of hard to get back in there because they think they grown, they just as big as you.
Not if they want to heal. Not if they
What? No,
want to
no,
heal.
no. Let me say this. When they're in that mode and they out there, it's hard to come back. It's so
Yeah.
drugs. When you on cocaine, you out there for a minute. You ain't gonna just stop. You ain't gonna stop that cocaine, that alcohol. You a
Because it's the
co-alcoholic.
mental
You turn
illness.
into alcoholic. You not gonna just stop drinking. You gonna continue to do that and until you tired. Because if you think everything is working well for you right now, and you could yell at somebody and cuss them out and scream to the top of your lungs, which it doesn't make sense, then you think you're right because you out yelled that person.
Something wrong. Something
So
wrong.
I,
So
I,
what do
I
you,
see a lot
okay,
of
let me
people.
ask you, Michael.
Let me say this one thing. I see a
Let me
lot of
ask you
people.
something.
They get into a situation over something this small. It don't even be nothing big, but they create this narrative and this energy that make people say, "Hey, why are you acting like that? Why are you treating your
Right.
mother like that? Why are you treating your father like that?" And they wouldn't have an answer,
What do
you
you
know.
think it is? Let me ask you, what do you think that comes from?
It always gonna come directly from the household. But I'm gonna say this: when you're not in your kid's life and you're not there with them, let's say you got 5 kids and you only deal with one of them. Them other 4 kids gonna find something else to do, find something else to love, and it ain't gonna be something of your choice. It'll be something that you do not like and you despise, but they doing that to get attention. And when they run into Tom, Dick, and Harry out there, they got love. Just like being in the gang. All them gangbangers, they say to each other, "I love you" all the time. "I love you, homie. I love you, homie." But when they go
Because they
home,
didn't get what
they
they
don't
needed
tell
growing
they don't
up.
tell their mama that. They don't tell their daddy that.
Nope.
They don't tell their sister that. But they'll leave the house and go tell their homeboy, "I love you." And they'll call him on the phone, "I love you." But they won't say it to their own brother. I witnessed this.
Because they can
I
relate to them. They can
they,
relate to each other.
because they doing the same thing.
Yep.
And when
And
you're
it,
doing the same
and
thing,
something was lacking at home.
Sandra, I, I mean,
Something was,
uh, LaShawn, I can't hear you. You got to probably get the mic back on again. I can't hear you. So, Betty Wright, can you hear?
I can't hear her. You know, this is a topic. This is a topic, Michael, that, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
This is a topic, you know, you got a topic here right now where most people don't want to hear it. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody
Absolutely.
wants to see the part they play in anything. Nobody wants to see the part they play in anything. You know, I get women coming here all the time and they partying with their daughters. It's their best friend. When did that happen? When y'all start doing all of that? My mother was my mother. You know, so you know, you go into the mental illness and you start talking about that because that's where all 98% of people, 98% of the people on this earth suffer with some form of mental illness. Some is more severe than others. Who wants to admit it? Not too many. Not too many. You know, I'm just one that's proud of who I am, proud of where I come from, and proud of where God has taken me. You understand what I'm saying? As going
Absolutely.
from being a recovering addict to tapping into the mental illness and being able to give back to somebody who's suffering from what I'm suffering from. If you're not suffering from what I'm suffering from and you haven't been through what I've been through, you can't tell me a whole lot of anything about the mental illness. And that's just where I'm at with it. You know, it ain't got nothing to do with money, none of that. I come from a whole lot of money, done made a whole lot of money and still smoke dope.
Absolutely.
You know, so you know, this is an area that's real sensitive to me. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't like to talk in circles and I don't like to get in combat about it because this is serious to me. Because this, you know, I live this. I see it every day, all day, and ain't nobody trying to deal with it right now. Everybody is so concerned about themselves. That's why you got so much narcissism going on right now. It's all about me. It's all about me. It's all about me. What I do, what I can do.
One of the
This is
things
that. This is that.
is social media kind of boosted up a lot of stuff, and
Horrible.
when you see a superstar, mega
Mm,
superstar, and they on live and they got 90,000 views, 100,000 views, or maybe a million views, and what are they doing? They fighting each other. They
mm.
arguing with each other like
That's right.
the Housewives of Atlanta. I've never watched them shows, but I do know what they're
You
about.
going to tell me that's not crazy?
All of that's crazy, and our
All
kids
right
are
then.
learning that. And the reason that they
Yep.
allow that to be played because they know that it's destroying the black community. And every time that
That's
a
right.
woman steps
They
up,
put it
she
out
got
there
to
for
argue,
us.
fuss, and fight, and go as hard as she can about something that don't mean shit. And
Don't
when
mean nothing.
when they
How
when they
many
when they
likes? How
when they
many
when they
likes
when they
I can
walk
get?
away, right, when they walk away from it, they bragging about it. They screaming and yelling that they just
Yes.
got off on somebody, and they sharing it with somebody that's like your daughter, LaShawn. They sharing that with somebody like your daughter, and then they're telling your daughter, you should be like this, you should act like this, because she's watching them folks. And when you
Yep.
watching that kind of show,
They're gullible. They're gullible. They're gullible. They're naive. Nobody has a mind of their own. They get on social media and they just follow. They follow. They follow. They follow. And then they're lost. And then they're lost. And then they're killing each other. And you get on Facebook and they're
LaShawn,
fighting each other. I
LaShawn,
can't even
log out and come back in, because I can't hear you.
entertain that kind of stuff because it's just ignorance. So, it is what it is. And then, you know, bottom line is like when I was doing drugs, I had to hit a bottom. I had to be done. I had to be done. Same with the mental illness. I had to want some help. I had to want the help. If you don't want the help, you ain't gonna get the help. And you just live your life out with situations, just shit always going wrong. And you ain't gonna be able to figure out why and where it comes from. And why am I like this? Where does this come from? Where does this stem from? Something's wrong.
Your mic went out, Miss Betty Wright.
Who's? Yeah, it's this, good topic. I'm glad because I had
I'm
just
glad
left
that
a
we having this
place
topic because
talking.
I'm pretty sure somebody gonna hear this and it's gonna resonate with somebody and it's gonna help somebody. It's gonna
It
it's
is.
gonna it's
It
going it's
is.
gonna hit a point, and it's gonna help somebody because anytime that we do this show, every time that I'm on live, what happens is after I get off, somebody gives me a call and they asking,
Yeah, because
and
Michael,
so
this is big, baby, and I'm glad you did this. I was telling Sharon, my son, about it, and everybody I was telling I was going to be on here with you, and they know who I am and they know what I talk about. They said, "Oh yeah, a lot of people going to be into that. They're going to hear it. They're going to hear something you said because that's what it's about. Each one teach one. If
absolutely.
you haven't, it, you talk to somebody who's been through where you've been. You understand what I'm saying? If I got all the damn answers, I can't help you. I got to give you some experiences behind mine. I got to share with you how I came up out of being molested and being raped and being all this and all of that. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I'm not ashamed. I am not ever, ever going to be so prideful that I can't share where I come from and the journey that I've been on to bring me to the woman I am today. A lot of people won't even talk about the things they've been through. And that's why they stay depressed. That's why they stay depressed.
But I tell you this though, Miss Betty Wright, one of the things that we need to lock into, we're gonna get ready to close the show out in a minute, but one of the things that we need to
Okay.
lock into
Okay.
is family doesn't get attention, will find attention
Hmm.
elsewhere. I don't
Oh,
care where
yeah.
you are,
Be it
what
negative or
state, what
positive.
city,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. If you giving
Yep.
all your attention to someone other than your siblings, your kids, or
That's right.
your parents, if you're not giving them that attention, they're getting it from somewhere else.
They're going searching. They're going searching. Be it negative or positive.
LaShawn,
Yeah. Yeah.
LaShawn,
Yes, I'm here. You can't hear me
okay,
still?
I hear you now. Okay, you got it by you. Miss Betty, right? I got LaShawn. I'm gonna let her go on by herself until I get this
Okay,
all
go ahead,
situated. Go ahead
Michael.
and
I
talk
wanted to
and say
say
what you
some
was trying to say.
words. Okay.
No, what I was saying was where I feel I messed up with my daughter, as far as with the mental illness stuff. She had an episode when she was in high school, and she had told the counselor that she'd be so sleepy that she wanted to ride her bike into a bus, and so they locked her up. And I fought tooth and nail because in my eyes she was perfect. I didn't think that she had a mental illness. I didn't have no idea what anxiety was. I didn't even know it was a real thing. I had to research it and find out what it was. And so for me, my assessment, she have daddy issues. Period. But she wasn't struggling. My kids went to the best schools. They went to the best house. It was family oriented because that's my main thing to this day. I love family, family structure. I don't care about no money, no rich dude, no fine dude, no young dude, nothing. It's all structure. So when she got with this guy, I told her that this guy was not a good guy, but she was in love with him. And so the 9 years that I've been struggling with her, it's not that her mom wasn't there. We were best friends. You would never see her without me because I was so in love with her. I loved her and I was in love with her. Okay. And so our problem started with the guy competing with me. Now this guy, he didn't attack my fiance. He didn't, spit on him. He didn't kick the car. He did all kind of stuff to them. Like if you ever heard of a child abusing the parent, and I didn't want to tell nobody that she was abusing me because she was perfect to me. Straight A student. Right now she's 28. She got two jobs and a corporation. You know what I mean? And like, she's talented. She's probably gonna be really famous if this dude don't kill her. So what I seen happen in their relationship is that he started getting jealous once he's seen how many gifts she's had, and so what we figured out now, she's a master manipulator
Give me his phone
because
number. Let me call him.
he's on the run right now. The police is looking for him. But the problem that I'm having now, he took her and he took the baby. So I don't know where she's at. And that's what I really been dealing with. They've been missing for 3 weeks now. And but my problem was I didn't understand that she was always saying that she wanted to get rid of him. So I finally got him out. We finally, after me contacting his mama, the police, I don't care, the army, anybody, to get this boy. Come to find out, he's been beating. He went to school. The guy that actually got him out, this is so crazy, was his bully when he was in high school from California. He came over with one of my friends. And he said back then they used to beat him up because he would beat his grandmother. So when I looked him up, he had history of beating his grandmother, but he always said he hated his mother, that I was a more mother to him than she was. And she's LAPD. So I don't know. All I know is my daughter was in college. We were doing shows. She was happy. She kept saying, "Mom, they keep trying to make me have a baby. I don't want to have a baby right now." I said, "Get some money first in the bank before you have a baby because children cost." And I woke up one morning. He was choking her. Me and him fought. I went to jail. He went to the hospital, and my daughter went to jail. So in the back of the police car, I'm
Toxic.
asking, I'm
Toxic.
asking her, "Who is this guy that you brought here? Like,
Mm.
who is this guy?" And I said, "Look where we're at." And so the police heard me talking to her, and he turned around and he looked at me. He looked at her. He ran her name. She didn't have nothing. He ran my name. I had a parking ticket. He ran the guy name. He had a rap sheet all the way down to he was 12 years old. So he didn't. The police didn't file charges against us for him. And I really believe that it was from the conversation that I was having with her. And I went in there and I explained to them she's never been in trouble. She's never been in jail. Can she at least put her in the cell with me. And they got out, and I had to stay for 3 months. And when I got out, my oldest daughter said, "You're gonna be mad." I said, "Well, what happened? She's pregnant." He said, "Not only is she pregnant, he moved her out." Took me almost 3 months to go into their apartment. She begged me, and when I finally went, it was holes in the wall, trash all over the place, like all of this stuff. And from that time, um, I just been trying to get them to stop fighting. Like, I like him without her, and he wasn't ready for her talents because that it happened to me. I had my leg broke before, because I was gonna wanted to live, dancing for the living colors and all that stuff. Anyways, for my talents that I had, I did have relationships that didn't want me to be famous or scared I was gonna leave them behind or something like that.
And your
And
daughter seen all of that?
no, she didn't see all of that.
She
No,
didn't
this is
see
when
you in these relationships?
no, she wasn't born yet.
Uh,
My oldest daughter, that's 15. That I had when I was 15. She always wanted to be a wife, and she's a wife, but she's also an accountant. She also owns her own business. She got four grandkids is from her. I have seven grandbabies. Four is from her, and she recently got divorced because the husband slept with the cousin. Because she never, gave him the fellatio. So, but she's dignified. She's bougie. My youngest daughter, you think that she was in college. They thought she was in college when she was in high school because she's extremely smart. And that's what the issue for me is, that he's probably never ever would have met a girl like her. She's very rare. You know what I mean? And she's brought him 3 cars. She works 2 jobs. She works the computer. And when I tell you, if you go on her page, it's Mahogany Muse Models or Ebony Angel Moore, and you will see what I'm talking about. So now you go from a girl that's respectable, play with Barbie, still say yes ma'am, no ma'am, to now she's, oh my nigga, oh, drinking alcohol, smoking
well, it
cigarettes.
comes, like I said, it comes
Yeah.
from somewhere. You know,
So
it don't matter
so so
how
so
bougie
listen.
people think they
I know
are, where they done
you're
did this, they done went to
saying
get.
that for a
It's
reason.
still, it's
I'm
still
saying, I'm saying,
some
I'm saying that for
toxicity.
a reason because
It's
I fought
toxic.
my kids not to be a statistic. That's all they kept telling me. Since my mama was a crackhead, my daddy was an alcoholic, and I had a baby when I was younger, my kids wasn't gonna make it in the world. They were gonna be statistics. So my whole life, I told them, "You're not gonna be a statistic." They know I do not play with school at all with anybody. I don't play with school. So my daughter, they said, "What your daughter want for her birthday?" I said, "Get her a book." A book for her birthday? Yes, she loved to read. This girl can read. I don't even know how many minutes. She got 10,000 books that she wrote. No joke, 10,000. You know, multi talented, and to see her throw all of this stuff away for this guy that we barely know, it's just crazy. But the baby, now her baby, she's very smart too. She's been here before too. And so I don't know what she sees in him, but I feel like he knocked her in the head one too many because she's not the same girl at all. And I had reached out to my elders. I reached out
Well,
to
you've
my
heard
spiritual
about sick people. Sick people
and
attract sick people. You heard
yeah,
that, right? We
yeah,
attract who we are. If
yeah,
I'm sick, I attract sick. So something was wrong with your daughter for her to
yeah.
attract this kind of stuff
That's,
in her life. Something was
that's what
wrong.
I'm thinking. I felt like I should have helped her back when she was 17. I mean, I called her NAACP because she was in a white school, so I felt like they was picking on her because they were giving her slave books and all of this stuff. Like, never seen no rich black people before, and I took her out of that school. Like, I went to the school district and everything, and so. But what I didn't know, and I didn't find this out till 2017 when my mom passed away, that one of my uncles touched her. So I confronted them at my mom's funeral, and I told
So at
her
that point, when
that
that
I
happened, why
told
you didn't
her
get her some help? At
she
that
did
point, right
get
there,
help.
because I've been through that. Why you
Yeah,
didn't
but
get her
she
some help?
did get
Because
help.
that's where her behavior is coming from. Whether you want to hear it or not, that's where her
Yes,
behavior is
yes,
coming from. Be it
that's where
negative
it's
or
coming from.
positive, she's seeking attention.
Yeah, yes, I did get her some help. Is what I'm trying to say. So this is how she justified to me why she didn't need to respect an adult. This is what I was saying. She told me that how can I respect an adult that's going to discipline me and whoop my butt if I do something wrong, but behind closed doors, that's going to hurt me and touch me and make me feel like a woman? This is a recent conversation. I did not know that. I told her face to face, and I said to her, "Tell him what his actions did to you and how it affected your life." Because I didn't know. I had no idea. I thought because that was a thing that was in my family, and I thought I protected all my children. I didn't know that they got her because it was really a generational curse. They've been molesting me since I was fucking probably in diapers. You know what I mean? So that's why I was given away. Like I had a rich family they gave me away to, but whenever I went for my mom's family, stuff like that happened. Just to come to find out my other auntie just admitted to us that they did it to her. So I'm saying, okay, so if it went from my mom and them to us
You
to,
understand? You got
you know,
generational curses
so
that
I never knew why she didn't like to go around my family, but
is
that's what the,
toxic. It's toxic, and it's
yeah.
carrying through all your children because whether you want to hear it or not, you didn't stop it when it was supposed to be stopped. You
Oh, I
didn't help
stopped
it
it. I
when it was
took a lot
supposed
of
to be
children.
helped.
I
You
am
think
out.
sinning
I am outcasted for me helping, for me
that
talking, and
that that's not what I'm
I'm,
saying to you.
I'm
That's
outcasted
not what I'm saying. You
for
you
the
you didn't get the help for yourself because you need some help too. You need therapy
oh,
too.
I
But
go to therapy right now.
and
I
your
go.
daughter needs it.
She
The
goes
whole
to therapy.
family needs it because it's toxic.
It
And
is.
if nobody's going there and everybody's
Yeah.
going there, and if you're going there and you're talking and you got this
Yeah. So that's what
grandiosity
that's what made
about
me really forgive my mom, because
going
my
to
auntie
good
sat down
schools
and
and all that, don't stop
she
nothing.
told me that the reason why she never fought my mom and my aunties because their father, my mom have a separate father, but their father used to make them have sex with the other kids, with their
It's
sisters
sick.
and brothers,
It's sick. So that I
right?
knew
So,
that
so,
eventually by me
so
talking,
that's where she felt like she would abuse me, so I wouldn't look attractive. She thought she was protecting me in her mind, that they wouldn't want me. You know what I mean? And
Michael,
that's why I
Michael,
always
I'm
forgave my
listening to
mom.
you.
But she said,
Michael, this is what I'm going to
don't,
say to you, and then I'm going
said,
to get
don't
off of
judge.
here.
Okay.
This is what I'm going to say.
But all
As a
right.
result of me open up, and I respect her, as a result of me opening up about who I am and what I've been through, you see what happened? She started getting honest and talking about what happened to her. You understand? So that's what has to happen with these kids. You know, she's been holding hers in and thinking you can send the kids to a good school and it's about the money, it's about this. Boy, these kids are sick. They're broken. They're broken. They're just broken. And what you gonna do? You ain't got them no help. They're gonna stay that way. I don't care how many degrees you got. I don't care how much money you got, how many cars you got. You're broken. You're depressed. You're delusional, and life is just miserable. Who wants to live like that as opposed to getting some help for it? So I'm gonna get off because I have another meeting I need to be at, and maybe one day we can take this a little, get into this a little more because it's that deep. It needs to be talked about. Women need to have a audience where they can really talk about where this shit come from.
Yes, absolutely. I
And men too,
appreciate
because
having
men get
both of you on
molested
the
and
show.
raped and all that shit.
And
Huh?
actually, we're gonna have a part two to this show. We're gonna come back and do this show
Okay.
again with us three,
Okay.
and
Okay.
we're gonna just add more and more and more to make this
Because it
situation a
needs
lot
to
better.
be a series. It needs
It
to
has
be
to
a
be
series of it.
absolutely. So we'll come back next week, and I'll see you. You have a wonderful
All right,
day,
sweetheart.
and the weekend is
Thank
coming
you.
up, so you have a great weekend too. This is Hump Day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Yo, so check it out. The show was about family structure. Uh, as you listen and you kind of had an understanding, drop the comments in the box. If there's something that you see or you heard that you want to say, drop it in the box. And when we come back to do this show again, um, your questions or maybe your answers, we'll bring them up This show was about a mother that has some kids, and the kids are being a little out of control. And in order to bring them back, what does it take to bring them back? So first of all, I just want to say, in the family, it all starts at home first. And I know every person that's out there gonna say, "Well, it starts at home first. It starts at home first." Absolutely, it does start at home. And if you're not putting the work in at home, as hard as you can and the correct way that it needs to be done, it's gonna be extremely hard. And for the people that are raising kids today, stop your kids from watching a bunch of bullshit. You may think it's cool, but don't allow your kids to watch it. You know, I can remember back in the days, my partners would come over and they would drink 40 ounces of Old English. And I didn't want my kids to see them drinking 40 ounces of Old English. So I would tell them to put it in like a Slurpee cup or something like that. Told them, before you stop over here, get you a Slurpee cup, you know, put your top on it and you drink it like that, because I didn't want my kids to see uh, the beer cans. I didn't want them drinking from a cup where you would have the beer taste or the alcohol taste or whatever it may be. So you got to take in consideration that everything that you do is not for your kids to see or not for your kids to do. And for a lot of people that think, well, I did it this way, and that's why I did it that way. For the people that think that way, you just take a look at the outcome. You take a look at what's going on today, and that'll give you the judgment on what it's like. But I'm glad y'all tuned in, and we're gonna get out of here, man, and take y'all out with 2K Vegas, and we out it 5,000 G. Peace. Hey,
This should I slide down Las Vegas Boulevard
yeah,
too.
I just closed it out. We did an hour.
This should I slide down Las Vegas Boulevard too.
Meet me on 15th and Fremont at the
We gonna do a
market.
part two.
Fish with the shrimp and the
come
fries,
back
can't
on,
find no
we gonna do it
parking.
again.
City of the bright lights is different after dark here. Take you to Container Park, maybe we can start there. Love for a city, I can swear I found my heart in. Raised in the desert, so
I
the
think
park
that's
was like
good
the
for
beach.
content.
Lorenzi
I
on
think that
Sunday,
was good.
grandma
And I
barbecued on
kinda
weekends.
felt
Shopping in
all
the
that,
rancho
but
was
it's
just
good
a
for
swap meet
content.
kid.
And
I feel
also,
Vegas when I pass by the Allegiant. Section 8, baby, but we still lit decent. When we talk about the 7, they don't even know the meaning. Pissing prostitutes like birds and the bees here. Creeping down Owens, you might see a couple fiends near. It ain't always what it seems here. But you could wake up in a dream here, or you could wake up in your dreams dead. Las Vegas Boulevard, I turn a broke man to rich.
I slide down Las Vegas Boulevard too.
We just need to do a part two.
It's that I slide down Las Vegas Boulevard too. It's some you slide down Las Vegas Boulevard too. This I slide down Las Vegas Boulevard too.